All right. Everybody hear me okay? Awesome. All right. So I am Amanda Nichols. I am the Student Employment Manager on campus. And today we are going to go over Handshake and Handshake's role in the graduate assistantships. I'm going to show you how to find some frequently asked questions for students and some videos and things. And we're just going to go through. I'm going to show you what the students' end looks like, what your end looks like. For any of you who already do positions inside of Handshake that are undergraduate positions, the process is almost the same. There's only two slight things that have changed in regards to graduate positions. And it's just the division name and how you classify the position whenever you post it. So I'm going to share my screen. Please feel free to ask questions in between. I am going to I will answer to the best of my ability. So if you put it in chat, or you can just take yourself off mute and ask. And looks like I got an extra Zoom screen up there. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is payroll and student employment's role in the graduate assistantships. So the first thing would be that we help you kind of manage your position in Handshake. And that includes helping faculty and staff supervisors with creating their employer accounts, which many of you, I think everybody in this room has already done. Assisting students who are looking for positions, adding the initial positions that come down from the provost's office from Mary Hennessy, we add those in for you, and then navigation guidance. And if you have any questions regarding any of these things and Handshake, you can reach out to me at studentemployment@sru.edu, or you can reach out to me directly, amanda.nichols@sru.edu. Once that process has stopped and you have hired someone through Handshake, then you follow the contract process and the form with the provost office, and then they notify us. And then when we get notified, that's when we send information out. Charlotte sends information out to the student to get them ready with their clearances and their paperwork and all of that stuff. So if you have any questions after we've received information from the provost office about when your student has come in or anything like that, you can direct it to payroll@sru.edu or charlotte.kohler. So what is Handshake? Handshake is a job search platform that is very similar to Indeed. The only difference is that it's for college students. So because it's for college students, it's a little bit more locked down. You can't just have random people getting into Handshake. Students have to be approved, and there's a process for that, and we'll talk about that today. Positions can be linked to other colleges and universities, and this allows students at these other universities, once the university approves the position, to actually get in and view them and apply as well. There are a few universities who approve our stuff right away, like the University of Pitt, Penn West, Westchester, things like that. And there are other universities that will kind of sit on stuff. And that's where this third option comes into play, where there are students who are at other universities or who may not use Handshake at their other universities, and they can still create accounts with us and get in and view our information. They have to contact our office so that we know that it's happening, because again, Handshake is secure for students to make sure that not random people are getting in there, but we have it pretty well laid out for them to understand this process. And I will get to how they can find that information as well. So students outside of the university have the option to create an account with us, or they can contact us and ask us to link the positions that they want to look at to their university or college that already has Handshake. So we have a nice little page on our web page now that I'm going to show you, under student employment and volunteers, where prospective graduate students can go, and they can open our FAQs, which will lay out exactly what they need to do to view a position. It lays out, if you're already a student on campus and you have an SRU email address, this is how you look for positions. If you've never been to SRU before, but you're a prospective student, this is how you get a login. And this is who you contact to make sure that your login works. So all of this information is laid out for students, and they can get this from our website. It also provides our contact information, and we usually respond to students within 24 hours of the work week. We also have information on for students who have never been on campus before to actually go in and learn how to make a Handshake account. We have information and videos on showing them how to actually search for GA positions. And And we also have information for the supervisors on how to create an employer account and how to navigate on the graduate side of things. Any questions so far? All right. So now I'm going to get into Handshake, and I'm actually going to show you what the students see once they log in. And this will be for any student who has an account with SRU. So that could be a prospective student who has chosen to sign up for an account and has contacted us and done it that way, or it could be for a current student who might be a senior at SRU, already has a Handshake account because they're here. They would all view this information the same way. So this is what the student's profile looks like. Very simple, looks very similar to LinkedIn or Facebook, so easy navigation. They can go over here and click on jobs, and then all filters. And students who actually already come to campus know how to do this already because they're looking for on-campus jobs. But for graduate, we put graduate school as the kind of filter search. And you can hit show results. And then for location, students don't need to do this, but I like to tell them to. If they put in Slippery Rock zip code and then only search within a mile, they will pop up all of the active positions for Slippery Rock University that are available right now. So this is how students search for positions. This will bring them directly to all of the jobs that are available. Right now, there are 27 active graduate assistantship positions. Some of those departments might be hiring more than one student, but students can come here and see these are the active positions that are open right now that they're still hiring for. Students can scroll down and do this and look, or they can key search. Maybe they talked to Ivory Dunlap in Inclusive Excellence, and they know that they want to work for her and apply to her graduate assistantship. And they can come in here and type in inclusive, hit enter, and her positions that are available will pop up for them. When a student sees one that they like and they're interested on, they can click on it and it's going to show up over here on the right-hand side of their screen. It's going to give them information like the deadline of the application, when the job was posted, how much they're going to make per hour. I worked with Mary a lot on this, and she provided me with all the job descriptions so far that have been turned in. And we actually put whether the position is full-time or not, how many credits they're going to receive as their waiver, the supervisor name, and then the actual job descriptions that all of you have created. I plugged all of these in based on the criteria that was set forth by the provost's office. So they can scroll down here and see all of this information before they apply. Then once they hit apply, a box is going to pop up. It's going to ask them to upload these documents. So they can upload straight from their computer, or a lot of students have stuff uploaded in Handshake already, whether they're an SRU student or from another university, and they can just click these test buttons and attach what they need to attach and then submit their application. I don't have my transcripts in here, but then they submit their application. That application would then go to Ivory, who I believe is the person on this position. Then Ivory can get in and look at the information and call the student in for an interview or contact for more information. Any questions on that? Does it look easier to you than maybe you thought it was, or that students maybe made it seem? All right, so now go back to the PowerPoint. So now let's get into what you see whenever you log into the employer account. So everybody who is going to get in and actually either post a position for an undergrad or go in and maintain a position that is their graduate position, you need an employer account. Almost every single department on campus has at least one person in their department who already has an employer account and is able to get in and actually access this information. Once you have an employer account, you can go in and access jobs. Let's say you're split between two departments. You can access jobs in both departments. We have really great people on campus, and they have left positions that aren't theirs alone, which has been really great. So if you have not created an employer account yet, I will send this PowerPoint out to everybody afterwards, and I have the information on the website linked so that you can go directly to it and create your account. So what are supervisors responsible for when it comes to graduate assistantships and maintaining their information in Handshake? So like I said, I put the initial positions in with the help of Carrie and Charlotte, and now it's up to the departments to actually take care of those positions. So crafting new job descriptions that are approved by the provost's office, editing the position, opening the position when you're ready to hire, screening the applicants, sending them updates, status updates to let them know if they were hired or not, or where they're at in the process. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then closing the positions. So all of this is very, very similar to undergraduate position, with the exception of I'm the person that's actually putting the initial job in, so that we know that everything is legit and came from the provost's office. After that, hand it back over to you. I tag the person in the preferences who is actually going to be the one reviewing the applications, and I get that information off of the job description that is sent to me. Any questions? Okay. So how to find your position. Positions are very easy to find in Handshake. It might be a little overwhelming at first because we do have a big university. We've got a lot of people in there. So first you have to click on jobs, and I'm going to get in there and show you all of this as soon as I'm done talking about it, and then it might make a little bit more sense. First, you have to find the position by clicking on jobs, and then we go to the division. Now, the difference with the graduate assistantships is many of you know that your division is your actual department name, but all of the graduate assistantships are under academic affairs - graduate assistantships. This is so that we can keep track of them and they're all in one place. And then they are in there based on the department name, colon, and then the job title of the actual assistantship. So that way, once you get in there, you can sort on it, but they're all under one place. So I'm asking that you do not move your graduate position under your own department division, and that you keep it under academic affairs - graduate assistantships. Just makes it a lot easier for myself and Mary and whoever else needs to go in to find them. Viewing applicants is also very easy. Once you have applicants in your bucket, you can click on your position and go in. You have these nice little tabs at the top here. Once you have applicants in there, you will have a number there showing how many applicants you have. You click on that, and then a list of applicants will pop up. You have the option to click next to their name and download the document that you actually want to download, or you can do a bulk download and kind of download everybody at once and review them all at once, which is my preference. That's what I like to do. There also can send status updates to these students. Status updates allow students to know where they're at in the process. So the second that a student applies to your position, they're going to get a pending message. And that pending message is going to say, thanks, we received your application. You can change these messages, and I will show you how to change them once we get into Handshake again. But as you can see down here, when you click on a student or download their documentation, it automatically goes to reviewed. And then if you decide not to hire a student, you can hit decline. These messages all go to the student's other mailbox in their Office 365. If a student has opted out of receiving communications from Handshake, they will no longer receive them. But your part of it is to make sure that you're updating the status messages. If their part is that they don't want to get communications from Handshake, you have already done your part and notified the student, and it's kind of on them if they don't receive that message. For a bulk download, it's a lot easier. And like I said, this is my preference. I will also show you how to do this. You can go in and hit download all and download like a PDF package, and it'll actually give you like a nice cover sheet with all the students' names on it. And then it'll download all of the documents for you. One by one, and it's kind of nice because they're all in one document and they're in alpha order, and it's just very nice. So that's what I like to do. You can also download a CSV file if you just want basic information like the student's name, major, and email address, things like that. Okay, so how do we find your Handshake positions? Let's get back into Handshake. And I'm going to switch to the employer account. I'm also going to turn off the heat 1 second. All right, so once you're in Handshake, you should come to a page that looks like this. And if you go over here on the left-hand side and click jobs, This will take you to all of the campus jobs that are posted. So as you can see, some of these positions either come from Pitt, they post to us, or we post to them. But if you go over and you click all, and then you go and click division and you start typing in here, academic affairs, graduate assistantships, it should pop up for you, and then you can select it. And this is where you're going to find all the graduate assistantships. Okay. I like to tell people to pick all, because if you haven't been in there in a year and you get in and you're accidentally, it kind of defaults you to active, you're going to be searching in here forever trying to find your position, and you're not going to find it because it's expired. So I just tell everybody to go in under all, and then you can find your position. The nice thing about this is that you can actually hit job and it'll sort alphabetically for you. And as you can see, academic records and admissions has their job going out to a couple different places as well for students to apply to. You have the option to do that, and I'll show you how to do that as well. If you can't find your job in alpha order, there's too many things to click through, you can always just type in, let me see here, the name of the department that you're looking for, and you'll be able to find the information here. You can also type in keywords. Like I said, graduate admissions, since there are so many different departments within admissions, it might pop up everybody's position, but it'll at least be a smaller view for you to look at. You can then go into your positions and download information. So I'm going to go into an old position so that I'm not recording any of this information. I'm going to go into my actual division and go into a test. And make sure that when you're done searching in the key search, you take your stuff out, because it will keep searching on it even if you move into a different direction. So this is a position. I clicked on the position, and now I can see that I have one applicant in this job. I want to look at the applicant, but I want to do a bulk download of them. So click here, download applicant package. I always just export everything because I can never remember what I actually ask a student to turn in. So if I export everything, it's going to export to me everything that I actually had a student turn in. It's then going to send you a link to your email. Your link to your email will more than likely go to your other folder, and you can click on it, and then you'll have information on a bulk download. You can click on that bulk download. We'll download to your computer, and then it will pop up. And there's only one applicant in here, which was me testing stuff, but it says the applicant's name, and then it provides the information that I submitted for my application. So you would have this for every student that was in your applicant pool. It would just be one after another, all of their documents in order. Now, if you want to download a student, say you're just looking at one student, you would just come over here, and you can actually pick which item you want to download. You click on it, and it'll pop up for you in a different window. Now, the next question that we had, someone was talking about, like I said, reviewing the statuses. So status messages are automatic emails, like I said, that get sent to students. So this is where you would update those status messages for a student to get an email. So whenever I hit one of these things, I get a window that pops up. Some of them automatically go, like pending and reviewed, but declined actually pops up, so you can add something or whatever you'd like to say to it. It automatically addresses the student by the first name. If the student has a chosen name, it will address them by that, depending on what they put in the system. You can tell them whatever you would like to say, and then sign your name and send decline message. They will then receive an email in their other folder saying, "Hi, Amanda, unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your application." So this is one reason I really like Handshake. It's because it notifies the students for you by just clicking a button. Now, if you would like to update this information, say you want to more personalize some of the messages that you're sending students, you can actually go to your name in the upper right-hand corner, user settings, and then go to status messaging preferences. Okay. This is where you can change this information. You can have it not send a pending message, or you can have it send a pending message automatically. Same with reviewed. And then declined, you can have it send it automatically, or you can have it pop up in review and edit it before you go. Then you can come down here, subject the email that's going to go out based on the status message that you're sending the student. Never touch this part because, like I said, it pulls their name in, and you can actually make the message whatever you want, send it out to the student. Make sure that when you edit any of these, that you hit save as default, because that's what's going to trigger it to go out every time you update that status message. It's going to send out your new message that you have saved in here. Any questions? No? Okay. All right, let's go back here. Just making sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Okay, so once you have a student in here that you want to mark as hired, Handshake doesn't send anything when you want to hire a student. So you actually want to just mark a student as hired, and then you're going to follow up with that student, letting them know their schedule, letting them know their next steps, letting them know that we will be contacting them once we receive information, and that they need to look for payroll at sru.edu in their inbox. So let me see here. Yeah, so once you mark a student as hired, as you can see here, I marked 2 declined and 1 hired. 2 declined, get an email, and then I actually contacted Madison, let her know her start date, got her set up with her appointments, come into her office and finish her paperwork, and she's good to go. Then all of your stuff is done in Handshake once you mark these things off, and you follow up your process with the form with Provost's office so that the contract can be generated, and then we get a spreadsheet from them letting us know when students are ready to be hired, and then Charlotte will send those emails out via the payroll email to the student, letting them know everything that they need to complete in all of the paperwork, and then providing them with a link to get an appointment with us to finalize everything. Any questions? Was this helpful to kind of see what the students see? Because I know a lot of people have questions on what the student actually sees. Because sometimes students might struggle a little bit more with technology or trying to find something, but that's what we're here for, to help them kind of navigate through that. So like I said, please utilize the stuff on our website, or if you don't want to deal with it at all, just say, hey, Amanda can help you get in, and send an email to me, copy the student who's looking for information on how to do that, and I'm happy to help them. I have done Zoom calls with students. I have done phone calls with students. I have gotten in as the student and kind of helped them open up their accounts and navigate that way. But we will make sure that they get in. So we had a question come in. What do you tell students in terms of completing hiring paperwork when they accept the position? I'm going to lean on you a little bit here, Mary, because it all depends on when all the forms are completed and sent to the provost's office and when the contract's generated. We go based off of a spreadsheet. I don't know, Mary, do you have any more details on like kind of a timeline for that?
Not really. You go into, you fill out your request to hire form, and that's what notifies us that you have chosen the student. We generate a contract. The student has to complete the contract and send it back to us. And then, as Amanda said, it goes out to those kind of back house offices that need to contact the student to provide more information.
I will say that within 24 hours of us receiving any new hire form or spreadsheet, we always notify the student within 24 business hours. So most of the time, a student will say they didn't receive anything and it's sitting in their inbox from like a month ago. So yeah, we always just refer them back, or we'll forward them the same email that we sent them.
Amanda or Mary, what do we do if the student's not in Banner?
In terms of student wanting to apply to the position?
So I actually have a student who came to their interview day for student affairs, met with them then, spoke with him a couple weeks ago, tried to start his paperwork, and there's nothing in Banner for him yet. He's showing not as a student.
So he hasn't been admitted to the university yet? Is that what you're saying?
I honestly don't know. I'm assuming he was, or he wouldn't have been an interview day for student affairs in February. But when I went to search in Banner,
Follow around with either Brandy in admissions or with his department chair to find out
okay,
what's happening. For us to give them an assistantship, they do have to be admitted to the university. They have to be admitted to a graduate program.
right.
And so that needs to happen before we can complete hire paperwork for them.
And like I said, he was at the actual interview day, so he would have had to be admitted to student affairs program to come to the interview day. They wouldn't have invited him.
I don't know whether that's true or not. It may be. I don't know what protocol Molly used to invite people to the interview day. I would probably start with Brandy Weber in admissions just to see whether or not he's been admitted, and you kind of explain what the situation is. Yeah, that's I hate to say that's kind of a different set of.
That's okay. I'll
things.
reach out and find out what's happening.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, I actually have one more question. How do we close a position?
Good question. I wanted to go over that and I forgot. So thank you. Okay. So real easy to close a position. Go in and close a position. I'm going to, I don't want to mess anybody else's up. So I'm going to go into one of mine. I don't have any active. So, okay. When you go in to close a position, you can click on the position, and right where you come in here, over here, it says more actions, and you can expire job. That immediately closes the position for you.
Amanda, can you share your screen?
Oh, I can.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, so you're in, let me go back here. You're in your division or wherever you're looking for your position. Click on the position and you're on this screen. You can go over here to more actions and hit expire job. Confirm. It automatically expires your position within like 5 minutes of you hitting that button. So expiring a job is very, very easy. Now, let's say that you have a couple students who are interested in applying and the deadline is tomorrow, so you want to extend the position so they have time to apply. You can go into edit and then go down here to schools. And you can extend your end date. This is giving me an apply, start, and an end date because it was already an expired position, but you should have a start date here since it technically is an active position. And then you go over here and you can extend the end date to whatever you want to do, and then hit apply and save. So that extends the end date so that students have more time to apply. And then let's say you give those students 2 more weeks to apply, but they are really efficient and they get their stuff in 2 days. All you have to do is go back out to the position where you were. Always make sure you hit save, because if you don't, stuff won't happen. And then you can go here and hit expire job and it'll expire it, even though you extended it for 2 weeks. Does that answer your question?
I'm going to ask a related question, Amanda. We sometimes a student decides to pivot at the last minute and they're not going to take the assistantship or something like that. Does the supervisor then have to go in and reopen it?
Yes.
Themselves, so that they can kind of get more applicants? And if sometimes we get a student who starts in the fall and says, I'm going to take a semester off, and they're not going to come for spring. And so the supervisors need to go in and control all that if they need to search for a new student.
Yes. Yeah. And all they do is this. Yep. Same thing. They just hit edit. They go to schools and they do the newest start apply date. It'll always default to the day that you're on. So this is picking up May 2nd, right? And then you can start it. Let's say we want to start it at 2 p.m. You can put 2 in here and then hit apply, and then take your extended date out to whatever you would like. Hit apply again, hit save. It comes through to me. I see you extended the end dates. I approve it, and then it's live to students again.
And I have a question, but I think it might be more for Mary.
Okay.
So we hired for this year, and every year, how do I know that I'm going to get approved again to have one? Do you send something out and I just don't remember it, and we request one every year, or do we just kind of always get renewed?
I don't have an answer for that. You
Okay.
have one for fall.
Mhm.
So that is all I can tell you now. Whether cabinet decides to change what's going to happen for next year,
Okay.
I don't know that at this point. So cabinet is in the position of kind of reviewing what happens with graduate assistantships. So you know that we changed what happened with graduate assistantships and how many credits they're eligible for a waiver and that kind of thing. It's very different this year than it's been in the past. And so it looks like the signal I'm getting is that things will continue the way they are. People won't necessarily get new lines if they haven't already had one. Okay. But as far as I know, it's going to be the same for fall of 2024.
I guess my question is like, I don't understand how it has been. So let's just pretend it all stays the same. So do I have to let you know each year that I still need one, or do you assume that I still need one? Like, do I just go in and reactivate this job and I assume I'm approved to get one?
There
I
are
guess not.
allocation letters that go out to your division head. So in your case, it would be Amanda.
Okay.
Early in the year, we sent it out in, I don't know, January, early February this year that said, this is what you're getting.
Okay.
And then
okay.
whoever the division head is supposed to reach out to their units and, you know, because I know with y'all's Nancy, it was assigned to a different unit within enrollment management, and we had to kind of tweak it back and forth a little bit. So they're supposed to share that and make sure that everything's been allocated in the correct
Okay.
way. And
Okay.
so what, you know, at the end of the day, enrollment management gets X. And Amanda
Mhm.
goes in and decides, well, so-and-so gets this one and so gets a half of this other one. And
Okay.
so it's going to happen at the beginning of the year that way.
Okay.
The
Okay.
beginning of the calendar year.
Okay. Thank you. That was the part I just wasn't sure how the magic happened. Thanks.
And a lot of the communication from us about the allocations goes to the associated cabinet members. So it was Amanda, or it was, you know, the dean, or it was Dave Wilmus, that kind of thing. So, you know, they do get notified and they talk about these things in cabinet kind of over time, so I imagine they'll start talking about it like mid-fall for fall of 2024. So sometime around October, November, they'll probably start talking about it in cabinet. The big piece we don't know at this point is what direction the new president may want to go in. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
Amanda, can we kind of go back to what Yvonne asked earlier for next steps? I just want to make sure I have it all right. So in my future emails, I can say you can expect a contract to come from the provost's office. Once that you return the contract, then you will be getting an email from payroll at sru.edu, and payroll will, and what did you rattle off all they have to do for payroll?
Yeah, so we will provide them with instructions on how to complete their clearances, how to set up an appointment with us to turn in their paperwork and do their fingerprints. And we will also provide them with the actual hiring packet so that they can complete that as well.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Is it the same for a research assistant? The process for hiring? Because I have a research assistant and we start our work here, and I'm just want to be sure that's taken care of.
Is the student grant related, or is it just a research
Yep,
grant related?
Yep.
Okay, so you would follow the grant process to make sure the student is written within the grant, and I don't know much about that. But after your grant is approved, you would just send us a new hired form if they've never worked on campus before, or an add department form if they have, and then we'll do the same thing. We follow up with them with an email from payroll within 24 hours with the information that they need. If it's an add department form and they've worked on campus before, we just add the student into your department and you would see them anytime.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope this was helpful. I plan to do this again in the fall for those who couldn't attend today, and I will have a recording that I will send out to all of you so you have it, and then a couple other people have asked for it, and I'll probably put it on our website too so that people can access it easily through YouTube. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, follow-up questions, please just let me know. Amanda.Nichols or Student Employment. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See ya.
Bye.